Participants, please rise and put your palms together. 各位佛友，请起立合掌。
Page number 9. Page number 9. Indunja namka lama pa me bal ko sanjo semba pa de me be ko wang se yo pa ju.
In the space in front appears the Guru in the form of Amitabha, surrounded by an inconceivable retinue of bodhisattvas.
Namo Concho Samdang Zawasam Jamne Na La Cha Sun Chi Ro Gong San Je Lang Gu Che Jan Chun Cho De Sen Je To Namo Concho Samdang Zawasam Jamne na la jiao sun ji, ro gong san ji lan gui che, chan chun jo de sen jie dong.
Namo to the three jewels and the three roots, the places of protection. I go for refuge in order to establish all beings in Buddhahood. I give rise to the mindset on supreme awakening.
Ai choi che te san yo bai he, jar wa se je tam je la, ko ne tang wei chan ca lo, me do de be man me che, shar ze ro mo la so ba, nguen je ye che chen nen ber. Ame so je ye se so, to ma ne ne ta de ma, me ge je dan ca ming ha, se ne nyu mo wan je bi, de ba tam je sha ba je, nian de ran je chan jo se, so zu je wo la so ba. De san ge wa je za ba, so na la ne da ye ra, sem je nan je san ba da, lo ye che ra che da wa, che chang te mon te ba ye, chu jang ko lo ko de so, ko wa che se ma dong ba. Nyang e man da tu ye ye, dong a jam su jen, sim je na la se se so, da ge su na je za ba, an je san je 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 ne, en ba ma ton ro wa ye, jen ba bar de da je je.
Page 10. With sincere faith, I pay homage to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas abiding in the 10 directions and 3 times. I offer flowers, incense, lamps, fragrances, food, music, and the like, actually arranged and mentally created. Supreme gathering, please accept them. I confess all deeds, evil deeds, the 10 non-virtues and 5 acts without interval that I have committed. Overpowered by mental afflictions since beginner's time until now, I rejoice in the merit, all the virtue accumulated in the 3 times by the Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, ordinary beings, and the like. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the greater and lesser vehicles and the teachings common to both, according to the aspirations and diverse mental capacities of sentient beings. Until samsara is emptied, do not pass into nirvana, but compassionately look upon sentient beings drowning in the ocean of suffering. May all the merit I have accumulated become the cause of awakening, and may I soon become a glorious guide of beings.
我作一切那让蓝吞别大大心间归结就心里也落结白就。
The field of accumulation dissolves into me. Thus, the mind of the 4 immeasurables has arisen within the mind streams of myself and all sentient beings.
心间的当定就是切，东儿光当察瓦里修，的当大的门扎里线，当牛前波内就结。
May all sentient beings have happiness. May they be free from all suffering. May they never be separated from happiness. May they abide in great equanimity.
那先空的却空让心动，马东可若安成那牛人么？东山年节送就萨达呢，让人也嘎不用着嘞，别的等的让你见日子。 小姐茶叶，他家变成子，学生江北娘接龙客气，哥妹本门南的就中有，等着南卡别的等等的，日夜马尔波为自然八月，说着三节江山你八岁。 今天能得的那是蓝的，那样无色的着能这边，心间的那当真排家娘，无色中的是也那就啊，若我将就三界八昧，马上变马那个伦巴达。 小姐家年娘下龙身，却跟南生所现这张秀，头节见证着了大的人，上节公节当年千波萨，地爷也三帮就见日子，小姐家年永别别看。 嘎波人间渐渐现大有，作恶用的家身体前头，小姐常年用别多见证，我波人间渐渐现大有，可得三生感动做结果，作恶乃生者生成法类。 我这干满天生就接他，七八的我境界现等之，南东可解脱当就个的，给见你老年的见到。
Page 13. Appearance and existence. All phenomena of samsara and nirvana are empty by nature. Not realizing this, how afflicted are deluded beings in samsara. My own awareness appears as a white tree, the manifestation of unified emptiness, clarity, and compassion. The tree transforms into myself, appearing as Chenrezig, seated upon a cushion of lotus and moon. I have one face and four arms. Two are joined at the heart, and the other two hold a lotus and garland. Peaceful and with loving countenance, I am dressed in the garments of a Sambhogakaya Buddha, sitting in cross-legged posture. My lower body is enfolded in a lotus. In the space in front, upon a seat of lotus and moon, appears a red tree gleaming with light. The light rays pleasing the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions and gathering their knowledge, love, and power, the light then dissolves back into the tree. Again, light rays radiate to the six realms, purifying the karmic visions, self-grasping, and habitual imprints of sentient beings. The light gathers back and the tree transforms into the supreme protector of beings, Buddha Amitabha. He is bright red like a mountain of rubies, with one face and two arms in equal poise mudra, holding a begging bowl. He is garbed in the three Dharma robes and sits in cross-legged posture, ceaselessly looking upon beings with eyes of compassion. He appears as the great embodiment of all the Buddhas. On his right is the noble supreme Chenrezig, with one face and two arms. Holding a white lotus with the left hand, white and adorned with jewels, he stands upright. To the left of the Lord is the Bodhisattva Vajrapani, with one face and two arms. Holding a Vajra in the left hand, blue and adorned with jewels, he stands upright. They are surrounded by an assembly of Bodhisattvas. The three places of the principal Lord are marked with the three syllables. From the syllables, white, red, and blue light radiates to the 10 directions, and in particular to the pure land of Sukhavati, invoking the heart pledge of Amitabha and his retinue, who then instantly appear at this place.
Dune tanze ye she yen me chang, jing du ye lo ne su ye ke, me be lo dan chang pa nam ro de, tu dang wan ke ne de she ne chang, na zo be ma da ve den den de, tang ze jing kong de dan ye me yo.
Page 17. Home, in the great bliss sphere of my own primordially pure awareness, abides Amitabha and retinue as the naturally present innate radiance. From the beginning, the Samaya being is one with the wisdom being. Yet your form manifests from the expanse of great love and compassion, in accordance with the mental inclinations of beings. Blowing your heart pledge, come here to this place and be seated indivisibly from the mandala of the Samaya being upon a cushion of multicolored lotus and moon.
Om Dewa Sabara Varan Beza Samaya Tsa Tsa Hong Pang Ho Samaya Ti Cha Le. Ram Yang Kang Om Ah Hong Om Ah Hong Om Ah Hong Sarva Bim Pura Pura Sura Sura Avar Debe Soa Wan Sarva Bim Pura Pura Sura Sura Our Devi Soa Sarva Be Pura Pura Suras. Our Devi Soa Beda Sabarana Kai. Reyen La Yedan Din Ben Chu Yun De. Jin Ran Yin Jar Ve Sha De Rô quan jor wan bu sun so jer che tang se nyo me ye wan xia sun de ce chen ran yin jia rui xia den bu rô guan si be dong wa che jer che la zi me do na zong zi ban de zu be ran yin jia rui jian lang de rô gong to re yong den dun den xiao len jie jia zong zhen jiao nong ben de zong zhe ran yin jia wei xiang lang ba rô gong si ben qian le chou wa le xiao sa le qian nang wei ren jian zhong men de sam de ran yin jia wei to la rô gong chè lo mo mo se wa le xiao ge gang la so nge dian bian jie cha xie ra ran xian jia rui ke lan be rô wa kun jie quan nie to ba le xiao rô jia ju dan din bei xia zi ta jie ran xian jia rui jia lan be rô gong den zhen se jiang zuo wa le xiao bu dong zhou sun nian jie rô me zuo duo jie ran yin jia rui nian lang be rô guan jiang qiu sen tang dian ba le xiao wang bo zhen zhen de bei yang dian ha mo la ran yin jia wa na lang be rô gong san me de wen hong ba le xiao zha xie zhe da jie dan jia se dong ye xie ran yin jia wa na lan be rô gong san jie yong den do ba le xiao.
Page 19. Shri, I offer this water endowed with 8 attributes with the nature of generosity to the monks of the victorious ones. May there be perfect fortune for all beings. I offer this food cleansing water, clear, cool, pristine, and exquisite, and with the nature of morality to the feet of the victorious ones. May all beings be relieved from the misery of existence. I offer various beautiful celestial flowers that have the nature of patience to the eyes of the victorious ones. May all beings be endowed with the 7 attributes of the higher realms. I offer naturally sweet-smelling scents and blended incense that have the nature of diligence to the noses of the victorious ones. May all beings become free from the bonds of existence. I offer this precious, radiant, and luxurious lamp that has the nature of meditation to the hearts of the victorious ones. May all beings clear away the dense darkness of their deluded mind. I offer fragrance, medicinal elixir, saffron, and the like, which have the nature of transcendent knowledge to the bodies of the victorious ones. May all beings realize the inner nature of phenomena. I offer food endowed with the essence of 100 tastes with the nature of method to the tongues of the victorious ones. May all beings be sustained by the food of samadhi. I offer harmonious musical sounds such as those of conch shell, drum, and bell, which have the nature of power to the ears of the victorious ones. May all beings be endowed with the awakening mind. I offer the 5 desirable that appease the senses and have the nature of prayer to the victorious ones. May all beings be satisfied by untainted bliss. I offer the 8 auspicious substances, the 8 auspicious symbols, and the 7 royal attributes, which have the nature of wisdom to the victorious ones. May all beings attain the attributes of Buddhahood.
Om Sarva Punja Manga Samandra Sabar Samaye Om.
The members of Gachin Center in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City of Vietnam will now offer the mandala. 那我们的佛友就是在这个越南河内和胡志明市的噶千中心会员呢，现在要供曼达。
Om Bedzan Buma Ahoy Ya Nambar Taba Wanchi Serya Sa Ye Wan Bedzan Chiki Aho Sen Jare Kuyen Yasan Hong Re no do yang la la de chang do da mian ni da de ge da ren bo che ma ma me ba ya lo da ba lo ren bo che mo wa ren bo che Nam se ma je cha ma nye ma da wa Rinpoche to cho le nam ra ge ye kya zhen je wu sa ba da me ye ban jian fu song zhou ba ma zhang wa xin kan number da ban de ne ge ye nan ju ba de ge de ban de la ma dang ba sang mo xu ye yu de bu lo yi wo tu zhe zhou ye dun de xie fu song qi ba de so sa xi bo ju ju fu jian mian du zhang da ge je sa ba tang je zo be jian jiu jian ho是mandala sangwe denpo we sang zhe lang la wa jie mian jiao tu sun ye we gong pa do pa ye si ba mian zhe xie ra dan nang ga dan yan bian zhuo na zhuo ra xue tuang sun xie lian jia jie da duo shang dan da le ba qin jian de me de chen xian de bo jian zhong de nan da xin de tong mian jian wang xiong ran na men ga la ben zai mian de ran sen san jie du be re san re dong de me na zhen che ban nian zhen chen nang che nie lang de Cô son luân chế dô lại chế yé rong tư chế gyun chế mê bê chế khu thô lê quân gyā rang xie chū quan xiu khur sui ming mian dēng dē jīn bō.
Page 23. All owned and unowned things of the entire infinite billionfold universe, my own body, enjoyments, and all possessions, I offer without holding anything back to the pure land of Sukhavati. May the self-grasping of beings be thereby fully pacified. May they be endowed with the awakening mind, and may their birth in the pure land be unobstructed. Realizing that my own mind is the Buddha, I pay homage on the ultimate level, abiding within ungraspable empty awareness. Everything comprised within appearance and existence is offered. Deluded perceptions of dualistic grasping confessed within the expanse of Dhammatta. I rejoice within the state of the spontaneous completion of the three kayas. The Dharma wheel of unceasing compassion will always turn. Abide within the natural Dhammakaya that pervades all samsara and nirvana. In infinite pervasiveness, where there is no reference point of the three spheres, dedication will always take place.
我热的见现的去将可罗果，圣洁那拉达的推荐在，当家下现着我同在吧，南他娘样子拉上查的，见人在当天见托拉索。假设上山着将怕被错，对前线的有把拉错了，人啊也算个别强在对。
Page 25. Shri, ever turning the wheel of Dharma in the pure land of Sukhavati, you unceasingly look upon sentient beings with compassion. Homage and praise to Amitabha, who, abiding in equipoise, follows his pledge to act for the purpose of beings, to Cherezik Vajrapani, the other bodhisattvas, the noble assembly of arhats, and the gathering of deities abiding in Sukhavati. I humbly pay homage and offer praise with body, speech, and mind.
我然年节点王所土个人，大等生他也着也生过，得有可能安成个本质，托干的同等解托干特，各送推解对解托当可。南特托个人当安成嘞。自马波安真下内堂，然给下有三郎着他，得到了居民阶等可瓦也，俺来我自卡多那宗旨，求救三界将三年八岁，看生心间观觉这生将。女就难大的前线的就。
Page 26. At the heart of myself, appearing as Cherezik, on a moon disk is a Shri surrounded by the six-syllable mantra circling clockwise. From it, light radiates and a white mantra garland issues forth, emerges from my heart and dissolves into the heart of the deity visualized in front. Thus, Amitabha's compassionate heart pledge of body, speech, and mind is invoked. From the mantra garland around the Shri at the heart of Amitabha, A red mantra garland of light emerges from his mouth, enters my mouth, and I obtain blessings and attainments. In this way, the mantra circles continuously between myself and Amitabha. The multicolored light issuing from the circling mantra garland pleases the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, purifies the 3 types of obscurations of all sentient beings in the 3 realms and the universe, and being transformed into pure land of Sukhavati.
Julam Dhondrup Sinje Labdus, Lontrua Siva Sinje Labdus, Trua Yishis and Jawar Sinje Labdus. Keep you.
Tashikele, Nayo.
Translator.
Can you hear me? Yes. Can you hear me?
Code way.
Yes.
Net almost the Yantan Samala, Samdru, she and Andre. The Nayan Katzange Chutin and the name, and the net demon to show you. The Nangan Sansar Kalpadi was, then the net Tomant the Sama get the Nekohom, Samba Sancho Zimbe, Sancho Sim Jisimogone, the Nimbarishus, Sancho Sim Tisins, the Zo Carries in us, and as a call how the Labian. Oh, Netanga, Bamin Samla de Roa, oh, Bami de Chin Tig, Tini, Tandona Marangoni Gavara was, Dig Givan the Tinning, Maraki Buchi, the mind bang, a simchi Tamji in Dewachi and the Jeva Sudan Etini, Yamisiki, Lobion Sigi, something, some Tanatan to Gavres.
Tashikele, everyone. So today I'm gonna continue the yesterday's teachings on the prayer of Dewachen, and we came to prostration yesterday. So first, in the beginning, again, we all should cultivate a motivation of bodhicitta when listening to the Dharma. And so mainly what that means, to put it into simple terms, is that you should think that today I am in an Amitabha retreat. I'm listening to the instructions on birth in Dewachen. And that is a great virtue. But it is not just for my own purpose, but I'm going to engage in Dharma practice and study the Dharma so that all sentient beings may be able to take birth in the pure land of Dewachen.
Sanje Jinjin Sin Tudro Simjin Gongla Zewe Dada Zek Simjin Gongji Yila Kandi Pe Namto Kanji Dada Tukjin Chin Simjin Gongji Gada Kame Zek Dada Mandi Soson Nina Sin Gumchin Obami La Chansa Loza Ta Sanje Ke Tene Sanje Le Yungtin Ramara Yura Yungti La Penitini Sansaya Ta Tanji Yura Zoda Yungtin Kare Yuresina 다 조금가서 사드 가르치 살고 요래서는 산지에 밤에 사 가르치 살고 그러와 진이 가장 안서 공도 시바나 이를 소속은 맞을게만 님보야스 돈다 가르치나 다 산지가 용디 싸지 못 쳐버린도 상하랑 셈나네 산지든 르스납 침보에서 두바 대바도 그 부분이더니 산지가 용디에서 하고 용하이나 드니 라hin가 셈나노네 드니 지 대밤맥사 왔지 드리는 산책이 요래스 다 가래 산지를 용된 요래세나스 다 산지는 침보다 보리 제버다 다보러와스 대엔드는 가능성 커버 심진 탐지라 산지 진진이 제 두두도 손도 산지 진지 진 산지가 산지에 밤에게 닝친 뚜 닝린섬 친린섬 라고 쳤다다 돼서 닝린섬 친 뒤쪽 라고 요데 이나야 끼직잠이야 라치 예와미 봐 끼직잠이야 마양 버거네 되니 심지 탑질 즈데요레스 다못해서 여러
And so then the text continues on page 5. With the eyes of a Buddha during all 6 periods of the day and night, he constantly regards with love all sentient beings. His enlightened mind is constantly aware of whatever thoughts or ideas arise in the mind of all sentient beings. His enlightened ear constantly hears distinctly without confusion whatever words are spoken by all sentient beings. I prostrate to the all-knowing, measureless light. We prostrate to the qualities of the Buddha Amitabha, and the Buddha has many different qualities, and we prostrate to each of these qualities. And so why do we offer prostration to Amitabha? We mentioned yesterday that prostration is an antidote to pride. And so when we prostrate, we think about the inconceivable qualities of that Buddha and his great blessings. And then we prostrate with a mind of devotion and great respect, really understanding the qualities of that Buddha. And so then with such a mind of great devotion, we offer prostration. And so then again, what are the qualities of this Buddha? He possesses the quality of omniscience, all-knowingness, and also love. So it says here, he looks upon sentient beings constantly throughout the 6 periods of the day and night. So we say that there are 3 periods of the day and 3 periods of the night. But actually, what it really means is that he looks upon beings constantly at any moment. There's no moment where he doesn't look upon sentient beings. So undistractedly, he constantly looks upon us samsaric sentient beings.
심진공나 제외다다 제와다 디먹고니 지데요라스 펜나 아마찔 부지요나 아마데 하장가 부고들 제와 침모요라 제와 침모요데 간디이나 부고들 삼나 땅데요라 부고들 롭용데 간데 용건도 롭용 약보 지게도에 롭용 약보 히도에 쭈람 약보 지게도에 참마 주보 대탕도에 조고 돈도에 장로도에 산타바 답지신의 삼땅을 데라 삼땅을 열어와스 산지게 빼대다더니 답데래요 파망 그때서 다노 아마 그때서 삼자 지기로 부지시기로 삼자 수술래가 고마운 소용 걸 산지 때를 많이 봐 답발리시더니 가디는 직대요래 제가 그 직대요 직세나 다대요다 가르치도 다대요 치랑게 개와 두고도에 치랑게 사와 장부 지기도에 치랑게 사왕 인파 지기도에 심지기나 노체 지기도에 양나 심지기나 핀바도 대와 두고도에 다 던데지는 산지가 직대요 양나 치랑나 징이 받체 연구도에 다 징이 받체 중앙이나 다 간디지는 징이 받체를 저고 살에 치랑이 다 나라도 지 템플도 지 처 연구도에 나허도에 처흔도에 처와이는 손을지 해도 가르치기도 정말 다 되었다. 일찍 잠만에 వచ్చి 때되어레스 사와 장보지 세나 하고들 산지 사왕 님바지 제나 하고여래 나란소지 남주지 다 사와테서 논트르지거나 매인베 하마웨이나 땡아나선 릭바나기 삼땅거 여러와스 다 임베 하고마 송삼 로 나랑 그 사람 먹이 와지 득 다 임베 하고마 송삼 야나 나랑 그 줌마치 라 매인베 하고마 송 나랑 짱보리 삼로 매인베 하마오래 얘는 산지가 하고들여레스 가르치도 찹상 하고들다 나랑 뺀는 락바나나리 락바 있나나 나랑 잘라 간리지 유나요 잘라 간리 유나 가서 통투도 람사 하고도 가도 가도 zopta karido chapsa hakodo pe dinai sanjige simji 탐지게 가르치도 타는 무슨 속차 탐지게 가르치도 참아 산지게 되는 락바는 때바나이 통투고 요래스 대답 즉도 요래스 나나도 다 산지 강야 산지 통고 요 말이서 되는 먹여 버진 되게 요 말이스 가르치는 나나도 산지를 대바 요래와 반항 요래와 그잡이 요래와 대엔디다 산지 나를 가드는 따대 요래서 그러와 되는 거는 사와 류가 있어 가래나 되는 잡잡치 그러와 gave us all and rocher chikores.
So it says he regards beings constantly with great love. So he looks upon all beings with great love, just like a mother looks upon her child with great love. A mother loves her child very much, so she always thinks about her child. For example, she thinks, is my child studying well? How is the studying going? Is he or she really understanding well? Or how is his or her conduct? The mother always thinks about her child. Or is the child hungry? Or is the child cold? Or is the child sick? And so forth. And so just like that, the Buddhas always think of sentient beings, but even more so, actually, even more than a mother, because it is possible that sometimes a mother might temporarily forget about the child. Maybe she's busy with doing other things and doesn't think about the child for a moment. But in the case of the Buddhas, they always look upon all sentient beings. There's never a moment where they do not look upon sentient beings at all times. And they always regard sentient beings with great love. They always know exactly what are we doing, what are those sentient beings doing. Are you practicing virtue? Are you engaging in positive conduct or negative conduct? Are you harming sentient beings, or are you helping, benefiting sentient beings? Or are you encountering obstacles and difficult circumstances? And if so, then how can I help this sentient being? Or is somebody dying, or are you being sick? And if you die, where do you go? Do you go into the 3 lower realms, or where else do you go? And so on. So the Buddhas always know exactly what we are doing. They always look upon us with great love. And they always know whether we engage in positive or negative activities. So sometimes we might engage in some mistaken activity, and then we think that nobody really sees it, nobody really knows what we are doing, so we might as well just do it. So we think it's fine because nobody else will ever find out. And then we do something non-virtuous, or we tell a lie, and we think we are being really smart because nobody really knows about it. But then the Buddhas always know about it. Just like if you have an object in your hands, you can see exactly what it is. You can see its color, its shape, what it is. And so likewise, just like seeing it in this way, the Buddhas always see what sentient beings are doing. And so even what a little insect or a little animal is doing, they see what anyone is doing, just like they have it right in front of them in their hands. So therefore, we shouldn't do negative things thinking that, oh, the Buddhas and nobody will see it anyways, because they will see it. And since we all have great devotion and a pure perception and respect to the Buddhas, we should have an awareness that they're always looking upon us and what we are doing, and therefore be very careful with our body, speech, and mind, and try to direct them into a virtuous direction.
심진 공지이라 강리베 남도 간제 따도 투진 son도 아스 근데 저당 알아서 르다 아니게 사와 듣는 먹은 통야인조 뉴와여 와서 이거는 가리팅 거 하고요 말이 와서 배낭 알아서지 계자 님보지시 셈바나는 쌈방님파 제대로나 뭐 임바가 지난 배야 보러 예상으로 와 얘는 지난 셈반 통투금도 와서 얘나야 산지에 지난 게 생각 가래 남도 가래지 봐이나 참하고 요래스 지난 게 기वन 남도 제와이나리 먹이वन 남도 제나리 다시 가래지 뇨몽번 남도 제와이나리 지난 게 삼로 간데 땅와이나 삼로 간데 좀 고와이나 참하고 요래스 bên chỉ là những làm việc của chính nhân số những làm nghiệp ba chính nhân số này sản xuất học cố rồi đấy, bà mẹ học cố rồi đấy, thế nên thế thì chính ngã số chế nam du chế, ngã số mất xong mà lấy rồi bà chỉ mất cái yappo là bia, mất cái khối yappo rồi, khối cái yappo xí cái đấy, khối samba rồi, zewa rồi, ngã số tende mage tende yapo yore nyumpo yore kol lobyon yore namba yore lana ngaso gawo yore was yapo la yala gawo yore was de endu yapo la yala namjur tingi yore was chamen be sol chige te pe yapo re yene ya zo ngarang ke sem de endu de tabta namju yapo tingi yore yene ya sem ngune china changma yin da mi 대 지나 하고 여러와서 가서지 남조 가르치는 지난 게 약보지 띵게요 러와 샘들 찍다 공론 찍다 샘들 짱말이노요 응네 인라 핀베 샘도에 양문은 거나 요적 샘도에 다때 나게 답지했어요 답지했어요 나게다 남조 약보때는 뭐 임베 하고서 말이 러와 나랑 게 삼로 임바 깨져 약보지시 돈다 임바지 남가 하고 삼다 상고 여러 왔어. 얘나야 산지에 지난 셈난 남도 가르치 해요. 그러와 지난 미에 가래요 봐. 저기 가래요 봐. 공 가래요 봐. 잡상 산지에 통통 거여래서 남도 간저 남도 정도고 짜는 남도 간 심기 군지 이라 강리 남도 간저 따도 투빈친 손 가디는 저쪽 가디는 지난 남동이 바깥에 전에 산지 하고 되어래서 하고 요래서 대인도 조 나랑 하고도 임베 하고 말이 마삼마도 산지 하고 되어래 레 줌릭 하고 되어래서 대인도 가디는 나랑 배sor치 되네 샘 짱마 좋도야 샘 짱마서 돼 기체물이 넣어서 샘 짱마서 남중 안에서 엉에 사와 잠보시 레가 잠보치는 매임뱅 알아 또바 지금도 사 그러와 매임뱅 알아 투지력서 지금도 사면 더 연구요래 연구요래 때 얘네야 때 개치라요 말이 매임뱅이나 야포리 남나 야포리 가스 말람나 개요 말이 그래서 산지에 지나 야포리라고 그러지 산지에 밤에 투지요래다 오늘 당아 로마테 야포리도 로와 당을 너무 때문에 삼바드 딤바로 제와드 딤바 근데 산지에 지나는 빼제와요 산지 툭지요다 나랑 누가 같이 잘래야 지난 그 생원한 게 따라 이제는 삼바장 보지야 돼 근데 산지 툭질 때 약이요레스 대한테 남용하게 먹일 약보 말하면 산지가 약보라고 요래 삼 근데 진 그래서
So it says, his enlightened mind is constantly aware of whatever thoughts or ideas arise in the mind of all sentient beings. So our activities of body and speech are activities that other people can see. But other people cannot see our mind, what we are thinking in our mind. So we might speak very nicely to others, but at the same time have a really negative state of mind. And other people can see that. They may think that you're really good, what you're saying is really good, because they can see your state of mind. But the Buddha Amitabha always knows your state of mind, always knows each and every thought that arises in your mind, be it a virtuous thought or non-virtuous thought, or an afflicted thought, whatever you're thinking, the Buddha Amitabha knows. He knows, for example, if you had a good dream or if you had a negative dream. So normally when we interact with people, then we pay attention to what we say to those people. So then in return to what we say, then we expect them to praise us. So then they say things like, oh, he's always saying really nice things, and he has such great love, and he's so kind, or he is so good in what he does. He has so much learning, or he's looking so good. So we want people to say that about us. And also we like to say that to people. And it's generally a good thing to say that. And we should try to do that. But also we have to look at our mind. So we are being nice to people, but at the same time, we have to look, is our mind really conforming with that? So is our mind consistent with our expression? So is our mind pure or impure? So if your expression, your outer expression to other people is really positive, then you should look at your mind. Is my mind also that positive? Do I really want to benefit others, or am I deceiving others? So you should really analyze your state of mind, because otherwise it could happen that you try to be nice to others, but then you think that nobody really knows what I'm really thinking. So you might say something nice to someone, but not really actually feel that way. But you think that nobody will know anyways, because they don't know my mind. However, the Buddha Amitabha exactly knows what you are thinking. He knows your intention, he knows your motivation, your goals behind what you're doing. So he knows each and every thought within your mind at all times. So whenever a negative thought arises in your mind, the Buddha Amitabha knows it. Even if you think that nobody knows it, it is just that maybe not a person will know it. But the Buddha Amitabha exactly knows what you're thinking and what you're doing, all your karmas. And so that is why we should always make a great effort and think that it's very important that I stay pure in my mind. I have to purify my mind. So normally we may engage in a positive activity and think that when nobody else can actually see me, or we engage in good activity and we think that so other people don't recognize me and nobody's praising me. There's no kind of no appreciation for what I'm doing. But that is okay, because even if nobody else appreciates what you're doing or tells you what you're doing is great and so on, the Buddha Amitabha knows what you are doing. And when he sees that you are engaging in good activities, then he feels that this is a good disciple. He really has great love and is very kind to others. And this is really what pleases the Buddha. No matter how many offerings we may make to the Buddha, if you have a good intention towards others, a good heart, that is really much better. That pleases the Buddha much more. So for this reason, even if other people don't acknowledge your great efforts, that is okay, because the Buddha Amitabha always sees what you're doing.
Simji Gonjangad Kamet, Tadaman, Sosin in Sin, Ninjas Kunji Pamela Samsalos, the Nitarati Nagagonice, Marangici, Malam Marab Laviando, or Zone Laviando, Kita Jumbo here, Tanganazum Nagagon Magi Sumua, and ordinary data between Nagagonici. Kare labayena 산지 코로나 라바나 이 차고요레스 지랑게 빼나 지랑게 뭐 임바 지랑게 쪽보질 깨져 시고요난다 지랑게 자질 깨져 시고요난다 단도드네 지랑 깨져 가래시나 되는 안한서 따라 깨죽지와 깨죽바나기스네 산지게 남초나 딱단 루요레스 야 지랑 깨져 장보라고 다 말라 핀생 깨져라고 깨전 잠보 깨져 야보 가래시나야 산지 암초나 딱단 루요레스 고요레스 대인도 되는 남경 안한서 아군 깨져 가래신 Tangata long lang so korang ke lega ya bu chim nang kapjuk ji tang ko sa ri de yang sanje ga ha kon sa re sam ro tene ante sa ma shuk chung tang ro tende ji tin shi ji tende chena tene sanje ga ting ting ha ko re te zon song ko ma ro ten do nan so yan jo ro tene nga zo samza chi o nge sanje ba me le so an de ku yu ne am de wa sha sa ku yu sanje ge ko yu na mi na sam 태성 고문도 산지기 띵띵 고온도 소소르지 강이 가래유나야 오 룰란나사 셈라 강이 뜻임 파체테나 드능알 yin 레사 잡사 강야만도 오 당아 임바 강야만도 당아 산지여 빠밀랑에 대파요 산지여 빠밀 소완되기 공긴 칭크요나 삼 띵띵 칭크요 금치여 빠밀 삼살로 공크요레스 칭크요레스 신절랍요레스 제나가사 Dewa Drupden o tate chites chite nipa mipano pinto mipa chaka minro sanate yongo mare kadu na pinto yu pa chaka yores
And so then with his enlightened ear constantly hears distinctly without confusion whatever words are spoken by all sentient beings, prostrate to the all-knowing measureless light. So then this is about the speech, wherever we say, the Buddha Amitabha can hear that with his enlightened ear. So for example, if we speak harshly to others, or if we're telling a lie to others, or if we're being unkind to others. So these are, for example, 3 non-virtuous actions of the mind. Basically, whatever we say, it is like we are saying it directly to the Buddha himself. He hears it just like that. Even if we say it to somebody else, like our friend, whatever we say, it is almost like making a recording of it, and then it goes directly into the ears of the Buddha Amitabha. So if you say something nice, something kind to others, then it also goes directly to the enlightened ear of the Buddha Amitabha. He hears it. So whatever we hear, and for example, if somebody makes you angry because they're not doing their job well, and you feel like you should tell them, then you should also know that whatever you tell them, Buddha Amitabha will also hear. And so then maybe you will play it down a little bit, maybe soften it a little bit. So in this way you can sustain mindfulness, because the Buddha Amitabha will surely hear what you say. This is not a lie, because it was taught in the sutras. So then sometimes also when you practice the Buddha Amitabha, you pray to Amitabha and you accumulate the Amami Deva Shri mantra, and you wonder, is he really hearing what I'm saying? There's no doubt, there's no need to have any doubts about whether or not he will hear you. He will certainly hear you. Whenever you have a difficulty, for example, if you are sick, or you have some mental difficulty, you have some obstacles, and you feel like you have no protection, no refuge, but you have the Buddha Amitabha. And if you have great devotion and you supplicate to the Buddha Amitabha, he will certainly hear your supplication and grant you his blessings. So you can always be certain that that the Buddha Amitabha has the power and the ability to grant his blessings and to benefit you.
tate tabtini ngalapena kangin de yuna tene sanje pamela soande tene ngaka amde shasa tene je de tene yakbo yores pena punra la kangin yuna samsanchi ama je punan samsa ama kosigin samsa kom mase brewa yenaya ngaso sanje pamela soatamna kaddu yena china 닝치 가드 닝치 뒤로 가드 소왔다나 산지기 신게 요레스 된데더니 마랑 가드요나 소완데 든데 제더니 님바사 아빠미 님바사 든데 줌바 든데 지거 양 참장 가서 들으상 Tanga Kangi Chido Roa, Nit Shiving Molam Japan, Roa, Nakangi del Chini Toro Mendoza, Mambo doesn't so. Jetang around Sanji Sinji Loco, so le Mambo Chisadi, Yoruba, le Mambo Chisadi, you know. Then so led Django was Django did any Rinpoche in the Jurum Jugur. Penang the Chiranti Lang and the Lebdiona, Lang Gonan, London, Lang Buglia, Yongona, Compop on a regular Yanang Yong Tugudua. Mother Chiran Lang, Gonan, and Zipa Samjut, Dinchaka left to Medos, compare in the Pony Yongudo, bit teenage. Nalachi Kangi, you know, so on the train so what on a Tatarang me pass on. The new young woman the house. Rumpai in the market saw what I bring the legend passa. Legend Rupa Jaring the dinner magazine up in Joe to the young window was. Then only saw a huge and the Nakangi the children, remember Chungumendo Sam at the young windows. Munich and around to Tarakangi, your Sus Kangi the Chimbo the Shiramare, Ravakangi the Kangi, Yena Yanso, Koba Donga, Mambo Santangri, Penang, Song Donga country Yuri. Roa, Tang so some good Donga Shirama Tana, Tundrog Donga has tested Tundua, or Tundrog Kangichi. Yang Jikti Murray in a Mayang, Pekangi Mamboji and Tundua. Tapa Nepa Chadeba, Tapa Pango Chadeba, Yang Mugget Tapa, Tonchon shit, not you will a native, but Mambodoa. Then the social Kangi Teledroa in a Kangi the Shirari Madoas, then the Cheng. Kangi the Huey in the Pasena Sound of Mata, Pamela saw at the condition at the Animagic Kale, Kangi Machun Roya, so you will raise.
So when you have a difficulty, then I may pray to the Buddha Amitabha and recite the Amami Deva Shri mantra, and that is excellent. And sometimes, so for example, when a child has some difficulty and calls for its mother, it's possible that the mother hears it, but sometimes maybe the mother doesn't hear it. But if you supplicate to the Buddha Amitabha, he will certainly hear your supplication because he looks upon us throughout the 6 times of day and night. He always hears us. So if you supplicate to the Buddha Amitabha and you recite the mantra, he will certainly hear your words. And so sometimes it happens that we think that I have all these problems and I have prayed so much, but it's not helping anything. So the Buddha Amitabha still grants his blessings, but also we have to keep in mind that we have accumulated a lot of karma, and that karma also needs to be purified gradually. As we supplicate, we purify our karma gradually, slowly. For example, if you come to the temple entrance and you want to go to the front part of the temple, you have to come to the entrance door, but then you have to go step by step until you reach the front part of the temple. You can't just come to the entrance door and immediately be at the front part of the center. You have to go in stages. And so similarly, when you supplicate to the Buddha, your problems will not just instantly disappear. But as you supplicate in stages gradually, your karmic obscurations will become more and more purified and the blessings will enter your mind. So therefore, we shouldn't think that, oh, I'm praying to the Buddha, but my difficulties, my problems are just getting more and not getting less. Actually, also, we have to put our difficulties into perspective. Our difficulties, of course, they are difficulties. They are difficult, but they are actually not as great as we think they are. When we think about the great suffering within all of samsara. For example, if you think about the suffering in the 3 lower realms, what we can see, for example, is the suffering of the animals. How much suffering is there? Or even in the human world, there is so much suffering. There are some people who are always sick or who are always poor or who are always looked down upon and so on. And often when we compare our own suffering to all of that, it actually doesn't seem to be that great of a problem in comparison, if you put it into perspective. So that is why you shouldn't think too much about my problem, but instead supplicate to the Buddha Amitabha, and slowly the difficulties will diminish.
지방참에 세파마도 바칠레 되지 몰란답세 대화 찐디지 몰란을 바도스네 현된디 발송 림바 바멜라 찬살로서 대말로이나.
Then the next verse says, except for those who have rejected the Dharma or accomplished the deeds of immediate retribution, all who have faith in you and make their wishing prayers will be born in Dewachen, and their prayers will be fulfilled. It is said that in the Bardo, he will come and will guide us into this land. I prostrate to the guide, measureless light.
주방스나 담배 주방이야 봐. 알바 주방봐. 되니 삼밍한 지난 삼밍하데 지난 말 라겐데거린 삼미방아세 시아봐. 다 대답했더니 매개와 사보지. 담배 주방이야 봐던 삼미게 레세 야바이나 마도 되니 산제 봐면라 소와타 바이나 되니 대화진 찌그레스. 다 대답 득바 삽치 세열데 되니 주니 찌그 말베 린투그 말베스나 대한 다지 코란주 레지 존에 남시더니 코란서 담배주를 양조 반랑제나 되니 야 남기철 양제 두고요레스 단 너들은 두주도 하자는 본건로요 용고 철선나 되니 됐지 다 주방글에서는 제 두고 말이세야 되는 예사레스 주방글에서야 돼 당안한서 주방글에라 차와다 라바 망보요사레 라바고니 히나 나나타라 남반도 산지 추르 지신조데는 게 담배 추니 두구면서는 따지는 로서나 담배 추방와 찬로 그래 다 대만이 번 차고니 히나 베는 증안하게 게와 충주 두비하게 고가비우데 바야나 마드바타 로 제다 레로다 소셜리스 라송하다 양 텔레 테스니 바치와 베나 라마 게비히니 되는 그 주시행은 더서 그 주나는 되는 나랑 그 조모 라소 받는 로고나 되는 더서 테스지 강고세 야바 강고세 다지 기자 식당 되는 테스 까야바 되는 양 인게 제다 벤나 잠리 돈바시야 되는 대답 제다 니네게 돈바송야 제단도는 게와 나래 들어야지 여러와 대답이 인게 되는 던르게와 들어야 까야 봐이나 근데 하정이 니바 침보 주방을란 로어드스라데 인지 게와 들어봤들 나게 받체지 강고 제야나 대 하정이 니바 침보 가르스는 랑게 주방부 니바 포용 여러와스 대는데 남주 만한 그 주로 소속 파마 분지 간르게 이나야 출을 꿀마세 걸마도 주도야라더니 강고 지나더니 니바 침보 용거래 안 되는데 대삽삽세 되네 줄이야 꿀마세나 되네 하지 않게 피우 침보 용거래 피우 싸지 마 잡아 나랑은 주도야게 양 참사 마콤 바타바타 대서 다 고감 마타버든데 종화이나야 이인을 대다고 고감면은 될 꿀마다 야 잡조스야 돼 하지 않게지 내가 침보 다 핀도 침보 요래 이제 좀 말아래 박송 요러 왔어 춥슬까와 주발라 소나 빠드미 봐요서 배는 담배출은 나랑 담배출을 때는 무슨 종네 령아 있은 거는 가브레심 베터신 되는 줄은 줘야 돼 소나 빠드미 봐요래서 되니 텔라 꾸르힌 주발라 되니 까딘 빠드미 봐요서 단도드니 yin 개발라야 나랑 주도 저 지난 줄이야 거야 줄로병시야 냠린시야 찬드바시야라 도솔로 바잡조던 튼진드비야 던드제나 대백까지 싸지 마셔 버려서 요래서 대엔듯이 근데 랑게 개와 이해한테 개와들 그만시 하장 기치 못 잡어 대엔듯이 hlapade ta terrain khatsan se goran zableng da hakyang ka dila chimbo so khira yama chama dila janjang rewa kangi janjang re chudrya ke tin tunjin da ma changwan ro da mage drya ke tunji chapsang chang de zong ro chi So you then the so chudriologists, some 20 time and betorsi and yindumuna the solcomasi japusena. Then manans number sanjig chu said the number sanjig chu de hatching ring tangchimbori rewa mans. Sin dug dejiang, dambichun dultin yongudo. Matangi jiboji yona, Karji wantamam ju jiboji yona, the sunam with the yongo. Sunam the kawane give us give a less a paltina cosunam tele, sonatop, sunam teletine, taralitin de la yapocha. Yam Matanjila pe chi shawata deva chipo, champoji yona yang, chudan reva your car samse, Sanjiki tapason, sambat zewa, the negachimo sondo, sin the deji tamjayang, then you call tambichutan, dina yongoyore. Tessima dejayang, tambichun de latina yongoyode. Then it damaged the hot young Zachimbo in the Zambel the June Bonego. June Bonegona, the name I answer, so get in Bezo, Lobjon, Yamnesia. The name Dongone, Pinto Yunjo, Yena and Pimpa, Rangla Pimpa, Nial Pimpa, Gigi Ridas, I mean, I am Semna, Jayana, the name Ranga Pama, Punji, Sama de la Kurmasija. Then just say Samalachi, June Bonyamnesi Marina. So tung zana deni give land yala data with ticket in Kurmasia, Cocaviana, Kurmasi, Tandisi Hatang Nega Chimbo Chagayores. Chila Tejan, Dordina, data with Sanjay Pamela, then Nagate Pachimbo, you depa take on it, Mola tap. Then Cheba, Chilla Tejan, Mola, Dewachen the Jim, Molando. Then Chama Tatatin, Devachin come to Jiggy. Nagat Pima, Tatatin, Devachin, Jacandi, Pardos on the Shengen River songs on the Pardo in the Shengen River on the Narataran Choyum Kami, then it Pardola, yeah, Tambote Jurigan.
So here it says, so in this verse, those who have rejected the Dharma, so except for those who have rejected the Dharma or accomplished the deeds of immediate retribution. So first, the deeds of immediate retribution refers to the 5 extremely heinous crimes, or the 5 deeds of immediate retribution, which are to kill one's father, to kill one's mother, to kill an arhat, and to cause a schism or like a rift in the Sangha, and to draw the blood of a Buddha with an evil intention. So unless one has committed any of these deeds or abandoned the Dharma, all who have faith can be born in Dewachen. And so when it comes to abandoning the Dharma, and what that really constitutes abandon the Dharma. So for example, when we do not engage in Dharma activity for some time, it doesn't mean we're abandoning the Dharma. But if we for a long time really forsake the Dharma in our minds, then we have abandoned the Dharma. But abandoning the Dharma, also there are more coarse and subtle levels. There's different levels to abandoning the Dharma. And it just basically means, it doesn't mean that they're completely cut off from any chance to be liberated, but it will just take a very long time. And that this is in a coarse sense. In a more subtle, a smaller sense, sometimes, for example, we can practice virtue, but then we don't do it because maybe we are lazy or we procrastinate and so on. And then that is a subtle form of abandoning the Dharma, and less severe, of course. So, however, for example, there's other more severe cases that also have to do with how not only we abandon the Dharma for ourselves, but also how we influence others. For example, if we are preventing others from engaging in virtuous activity, or we even encourage them, or we say things to them that make them not want to practice the Dharma. For example, we say something that prevents them from practicing a Nyingnya or Nyungnya practice and so on, whatever virtuous practice, and then they don't do it, then that is also a form of abandoning the Dharma. Because if we prevent others from practicing the Dharma, it is extremely harmful, actually. So it is an extreme negative karma if we make an obstacle to the virtuous practice of somebody else. And the negative karma is just like rejecting the Dharma. So for example, if there's another Dharma friend or a parent, a family member and so on who wants to practice that Dharma, then if we discourage them from doing so and actually prevent them from practicing the Dharma, that is an extremely negative act, and we have to be extremely careful about that. So instead of preventing others from practicing the Dharma, we should actually encourage them to practice the Dharma. So sometimes we want to practice the Dharma ourselves, but we might not have the time or the opportunity to practice the Dharma. But then even if I do not have the opportunity, if somebody else has the opportunity, and we should encourage this opportunity and support them in their intention to practice the Dharma. Milarepa had said that any effort that we make for the sake of the Dharma is an inconceivable merit. So any hardships that we take upon us with body, speech, and mind for the sake of the Dharma is an inconceivable merit. And he says that if we even encourage and support others in their virtuous endeavors, that is an inconceivable kindness towards them. For example, if you have a Dharma friend who wants to study or learn the Dharma, practice the Dharma, do a retreat and so on, if you support this and if you help them provide the conditions to practice, then that is an inconceivable kindness. So it's very important to practice the Dharma oneself, but also to encourage others to do so. Especially nowadays, people in this world are extremely busy. We don't have so much time. And it's very difficult for us to actually find all the conditions necessary to actually practice the Dharma. Whereas on the other hand, we seem to have all the conditions perfectly together to practice non-virtue all the time. So since it is so hard to have the conditions to actually practice the Dharma, it is a great merit to make an effort in that and to encourage and support others in this endeavor as well. And that is because the Holy Dharma is so extremely precious. All the happiness that we experience in this life actually arises through the Holy Dharma. For example, if a family is very happy, then that is also really due to the Dharma. The Buddha said that this is a great merit, because all happiness, even physical well-being, all arises from virtuous action. So if you have a family that is getting along, is very peaceful and happy, that is related to the Dharma, because it is related to loving kindness. This is what the Buddha had always taught. All the happiness, the well-being that we experience in this life is related to the Dharma. And then all the happiness to experience in future lives comes from the Dharma. And that is why the Dharma is so extremely precious. And that is why it is important that the Dharma continues to remain in this world for a long time. So in order for the Dharma to remain in this world, it is us who have to make an effort in practicing the Dharma, in studying the Dharma. it will truly be of benefit to yourself and to others. And so then if you think in this way, you can see the great benefit that comes from encouraging, supporting others like your parents or your family and friends in their Dharma practice. Because in this way, the Dharma can remain for a long time. So even if sometimes we are not able to engage in extensive retreats or longer practices, even if we just encourage someone to practice the Dharma for a very short time, it's very important. It's really, it's a very crucial point. So that is, next it says then, that at the time of our death, it is said in the Bardo, he will come and will guide us to this land. So if you supplicate to the Buddha Amitabha with great devotion, with great faith, then upon death, when you go on into the Bardo, the Buddha Amitabha will be there to guide you into the Pure Land.
Dorzin, Shingden Rinpoche, Son Rinpoche, Bamila, Chancellor, Son. Dangaran to Namju, Tsendelici, Obami, Yamlins in Obami, Drumdunina, the Linga, Choyong Kamnitini, Yang Kapto, the Dewachen Jetaba. Tandrian Yusari, Yang Kapto J. Mahabjan, Tening Chonetini, Pardo Kablas, Pardolaneta, Gang in Shiviro. Gang in Jikta, Sanjim Chapa, Yupakabla Tini, Tangala Jabdang, Gondang, Resa, Kanga Yu Marwas. Tarang and Jikin Kamla Tarang, Nanta, then Jina, Kandi Chimbo Yuja, Pardo the Dravina, Pardo Capitin, Jinang, Jikta Chiri, Sunguduas. Then take up that te, Tabin Jitantanang, Kablatini. Touch up the Resamili, Tendricabla, Tanga Namju Tsendula, Tening our family Tepaya, Opami Yamnesi, Dunina, Teni Pardo Cablatini, Sanji Obamis Ongodoa, Corte Jepa, Corte Jepa, Teni Sone, Teningatsoya, Dewachen and Danger the Pass, Dimpa Pamilas, Pandosuni, Henden in person. So that that's all Tsendula, Hakang Agatara. Depa Chimbo, Depa Numba, or Pamila. They are not any pardon, living horse. Send the Langaga Depa Tandumba Shira Mina, Pardo Kalangal and Jitantana, Kandiji Uja. The near Opamitana, you pep the Unayang, Naghako, your married. Opamic Sinja lap to go, your married. Carison and Deva chat to your married was. Then the Tenits in the Langan to Yang, Sians are apartment someone though, Dewachen Hamless, the soul Samota. Roa, the Sanji Obami, you think the Samota. Teninga Namju Tapper, Amadeo, study him by Hirama, Hina, Amadeo, Amadeate, so te passi young seance. Nimatapa, Shokayanti, Ningoyanti, Gondayanti, Tendersen and Matsa Pacalo, though. Pacating Saboyada. Sanjay Obami, the Nag Symptom, things about the Pachayana, telling on Chokamia, didn't move on there, Sanjay Obami. The Nepadunian didn't to be a race. Namjung announced Shira, Yamni Shira, Majeva Yena, Ninga Gazal Libdi Antony Shira, you married. Dewachira Yoma Tinga, you married. Nanto Namju Pakas, give a Pacha, Magia Pachas. Tarang to Shedan and do chat and Tado to Peshuchimudan and to Sam Gijula. That's in the Jibuk judging it in Yonko Samari. Jewang moment the June Chiyosari. The Mageva June. Then the answer to Mageva Drivella left flower you depa. Do or take answer Pakas or Magia Pacha. Take Pacha June didn't Tahayam Mageva Dundu you depa, the Yongo. Then same with Tena, Nagopami, the Patanang, the Pacan Tower, June, thanks about your Yotusuna, the name Chivacamia, the name Apami Musasone, the Massachin come into your race. Pepsi, London. Dindi Pami was Pemia, Dindi Dewachin. Naga Sanji Pami, Gujin Chalo Hinka to Saptima Yapore. Some Martipian Depa, Hiviji, you then a Depa Tana Hiviyuna, Tinning Musitini, Chobakab and Jin,
So in the Bardo, he will then come and guide us into this land. So if we in this lifetime, if we engage in the practice of the Buddha Amitabha really on an ongoing basis, then at the time of our death, the Buddha Amitabha will directly come and guide us to the Pure Land of Dewachen. So normally, in an ordinary sense, when we die and we go into the Bardo, there are many frightening manifestations. There is a lot of terror and hardship that we encounter in the Bardo. And at that time, there is no protection, there is no refuge, there's no one to place our hopes in. If we think about the greatest fear and terror that we may experience in this world and compare that to the terror that we experience in the Bardo, it is by far worse in the Bardo, because at that time there is no one there, no one else there to protect us. And so that is why it's very significant that in this lifetime we practice the Buddha Amitabha with great devotion, with great faith. Then if we do so, then in the Bardo, the Buddha Amitabha will directly come together with his retinue and guide us from the Bardo into the Pure Land of Dewachen. So, but this requires that in this lifetime, we always have the Buddha Amitabha in our minds with great devotion and with a great aspiration. If we do so, then he will directly appear to us in the Bardo. But on the other hand, if in this lifetime our devotion, our faith is not so strong, then when we are in the midst of all these terrifying manifestations of the Bardo, even if the Buddha Amitabha comes at that time, we don't recognize him. We don't know that he's here. And so we cannot connect to him. And because of that, he cannot directly grant his blessings to us. So that is why it is important that in this lifetime, we form a habit of always thinking of the Buddha Amitabha and Dewachen on an ongoing basis. To always have in mind the Buddha Amitabha's qualities is very important. Even if you only know the Om Mani Padme Shri mantra and nothing else, it is sufficient. And think about it in the morning, at midday, and in the evening. And if you do that, you are placing an imprint into your mind. So we always speak about these imprints. So we need a very deep imprint of the Buddha Amitabha. If your imprint of the Buddha Amitabha is very deep, then at the time of death, after you have died and go into the Bardo, the Buddha Amitabha will directly appear and guide you to the Pure Land of Dewachen. But if normally you don't really practice so much, you don't form this karmic, this imprint of Buddha Amitabha in your mind. And then when it comes down to it, when you are in the midst of this difficult manifestations in the Bardo, you will not be able to remember, you will not be able to think of the Buddha Amitabha. So even though he is here, you cannot connect to Amitabha. So the imprint is really significant. So we have virtuous imprints and we have also non-virtuous imprints. And so normally our non-virtuous imprints are very powerful. Our imprints of anger, of attachment, of jealousy are very strong. These imprints are not imprints that we create just in this lifetime, but we bring a continuum of these imprints with us from previous lifetimes into this lifetime. And because there's this continuum that we bring with us, it comes very easy to us to practice non-virtue. So that is the non-virtuous imprint that we bring with us. And so similarly, we have to create a virtuous imprint of the Buddha Amitabha that we bring with us beyond this lifetime. So if you have a very strong imprint of having great devotion to the Buddha Amitabha, then after you have died, the Buddha Amitabha will directly appear and bring you to the Pure Land of Dewachen, will guide you to the Pure Land of Dewachen. So if you are able to visualize the form of the Buddha Amitabha clearly, that is excellent. But even if you cannot visualize clearly, if you just have a very strong devotion and a pure perception toward the Buddha Amitabha, then you will encounter him upon your death.
Te tabi terin chat taba zog semna na ba me se de kandiji yu ba ha ko taba teni nga ta pardo le lebi ngo kabla por ta nga so kam tsman to pardo ro ro was ndana yu te tsama nga so pardo rum go ro was chu go ro was den chu kabla jinghang yu re pardo chal go was ta taranga opa mi de teni yile tin teni hideona teni pardo kabla teni dra ta wu ta ser dra ser sam segre dra pe doktong de bata su su de job job te ta dra ta pota te wu pa mi pa wu tham pi chap teni ser zigi tan do teni pardo ke lenkin la shingi lenkin tan dra ma ngang chunang na ti ne le ma given chunang tin te ta batin mangbun charyong go semna ngandra ji ya chanang mangbun chargo yosari charyong du ta nga ga sanje ba me le darani de pa pa kya tengsa boyuna o wasn't to yong o ndo sanje ba me uri sanje ba me phemdo sam tillo de ji 대가 나는 당가는 거지 나게 아마다 부근이 로망볼 만테네 드니 깝들은 제반나 이차네 어 산지가 봐 무스트나 톡 내가 가와다 좋아 짠지 마차피지 드니 대바다나 라지 든든든이 되는 거는 대화 지는 젠로요레스 대데 좋다 하는 거 그때 생각되는 데이터비지 드니 잡득 같은 잡득식도 데이터 하고 대 잡득도 붙이지나 대 약보요레스 잡득 땡사 보고는 잡득 띵보 미네야 각자 투비요 맞다스
So for example, we see a tanka of the Buddha Amitabha. So look at the tanka really carefully and then close your eyes. Does the image appear in your mind? So you have to train until the image clearly appears in your mind. You really understand who the Buddha Amitabha is. And then he will be there in the bardo. And so we will all go into the bardo because one day all of us here are going to have to die. And when we go into the bardo, there will be frightening appearances. And it's significant, important to be able to remember the Buddha Amitabha at that time. So it is that in the bardo, there are various sounds, and there are lights and rays, like light rays, that we perceive. So there may be sounds of thunders, roaring thunderstorms, and inconceivable, brilliant, dazzling lights and rays. And there may be the manifestation of yamas, henchmen, appearing in the bardo. And these are all the confused perceptions of our non-virtuous mind, manifesting in various frightful, fearsome ways. So, but if you have a very strong imprint of devotion to the Buddha Amitabha, then at that time when the light rays appear, what you will think is, oh, here is the Buddha Amitabha. The Buddha Amitabha has appeared. And the feeling will be just like a child reuniting with his mother if he has not met his mother for a long time. So you will see the Buddha Amitabha just in this way, and you will be happy and overjoyed, and your devotion to the Amitabha will grow even stronger. And then this is how you will be born in Dewachen. But it's important that now when we are alive, that we actually make preparations for being born there. So to prepare, we need to understand this point really well and have a very profound, a very deep imprint that prepares us for this time. Because if our preparation is not so strong, then it will not be afraid and benefit when it really comes down to it.
Person dimensiva male do person go botsepa mela sansalos na malo yenrewa.
And the next verse says on page 6, your lifespan lasting for countless kalpas, you stay here and do not go beyond suffering. If we pray to you with one pointed respect, it is said that except for the complete ripening of karma, the end of our life force will happen only after 100 years, and the various kinds of untimely death will be averted. I prostrate to protect the Amitayos.
Dona sanje pamila ngagetini debata dana yune teni yu debayana teni tsende jingi parchesayata te tsend smagetini salam tamji teni dorto patende yores tsend jingi parchesene teni ngaktsering bo nehtya to so yongo dos.
So if you have a very strong faith and a pure perception to the Buddha Amitabha, then he can clear away all negative circumstances and obstacles in your life, and also for future lives, cause you to progress through the bhumis and the paths and to attain liberation. And so clearing away all obstacles to this life, you will experience a long lifespan.
Jene jingi parche tamchelan dortaba tendo yongo do sondos dimin chowa male do person gompo tsepa mila sansalos terengi chunsantana yitne yan chowa kaki yusarwas.
So it says all untimely death and various kinds of untimely death will be averted, and all negative circumstances and obstacles will be averted. So for today, we stop the teachings here. We have a few questions.
If there's any participants over here at the hall, you would like to ask Rinpoche questions, you may raise your hand and our volunteer will pass the mic to you. 那如果在座有哪一位就是佛友想要提问关于就是仁波切的教授的话呢，可以举手，我们的义工会把那个麦克风传给您。Okay, so if not, Ina, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so the first question is, Rinpoche, how long does rebirth in Dewachen last? Will one be reborn in samsara again after several years?
Dewachen da geht dön teni Dewachen gitsetse katsudok teni lo kashiki chila yangya chitendela kobana la kiwa lengo go yorwe.
Dewa tsetse ringpodo kapan chupchane bumcha tedi dewaji shengla dege dos karesina daha dewaji shengdena daha sanjaya pami yugde yoras sanjaya pami kapa mangole yone teni namjele teni sanjaya pami sanjaya kapla teni kineze dege jatsapsine yale teya kapa padimi pale yo te yang sangye te tsadetene sanjin tichin tobyo kapa padimi pale yugodos chang de zapse chezong maraba Those. Tinity Rena, Tinning Araya, Dewachen, Jesonina, Tinitirana Devachina, China Den and Rigido. Roa Yan Devachin Chete, Chirange Sosa, Drabajanetini, Shen Komal Yachi. Tani young Sang Jason and Rigidos. Koala Matsani young gomandos.
And the lifespan in Dewachen is extremely long. It's very, very long. It lasts for hundreds and thousands of aeons. So right now, the Buddha Amitabha presides over the Pure Land of Dewachen, and he will stay there for many inconceivable aeons. And then one day when he finally reaches the final awakening or enlightenment, then his regent will be Chenrezig. And then Chenrezig presides over the Pure Land for many inconceivable aeons. And then when he attains enlightenment, Vajrapani will become his regent. And then he remains there for many infinite aeons. So countless aeons, meaning that it's not measurable in time. It is so long. And so once you are born in Dewachen, you can stay there for all this time and accumulate merit and purify obscurations. And eventually you can also then be born and attain enlightenment in an even higher Pure Land. But you do not have to come back to samsara.
So now the second question is about Rinpoche mentioned that if we practice Amitabha, we are at the same time already practicing Chenrezig or any other Buddhas and Bodhisattva, as they are from the same essence. In essence, they are the same. So if we are practicing green or white Tara, does it also mean that we are practicing Amitabha and we will go to Dewachen? And yeah, please, Rinpoche, could you explain?
Tene Rinpoche yusung sang so upa me nyamlen sena tene ngaso Chenrezig yang nyamlen seki yori. Tene upa me dan Chenrezig tene sangye dan jangju sempa chama ngubo chikpa re. Tene ngubo chikpa yina tene pena drama jangko yana drama kamo nyamlen sena tene upa me nyamlen seba danda yongge reve tene pena drama nyamlen seba la tene Dewachen yang ke thopitue.
Rami Yabo Shida Komarida Dodon Rokarida.
Dodo dira, that's Sange Tamjing over Chibarera. Any Sange chick drubna, Sange Tamja Dubkirera. Bena Uba made drubna, then it raising and drupi yore. Then it Dorma drubna, then young Uba made drupi yoreva. The in the Dorma Dubala, then they were changing the gate of the
Oh, and Chigados. La Jing them not Tamchin them those. The nature of La Courage Dribnaya, China Shinkam Kawan Rogonaya, the Pen Duma Dumna, the Chinas and the Dumna, the China Devachin and Rogosana, the nature Duma Drip Devachin Rogosan and Rugudos, Chedos.
So the answer is yes, because if you accomplish one deity, you really accomplish any deity, all the deities. So therefore, if you practice any deity, you can also be born in the Pure Land. For example, if you practice Tara or if you practice Chenrezig with the intention of being born in Dewachen, you can be born in Dewachen through Tara or Chenrezig practice as well.
Ngagiti Tambo Kohong Jiorwa, Kohong Tetan, Jonim Honam Jagiorwa, Teni Keta Yagrichina, Kohong the only Duma Duma Devachin Rogo, Sam, Roa, the Nijan Duma Dusatin, Juan Mona Chitin, Devachin Jego, Sam, Teni Teta Teta and Rupures, Clacari Dunatin Penna, Chiran to Leka, Kandiji Leka, Chiran to Mujera, your Leka Lacha. Chirang Udra, so I know. Udra, 사마년한 되기도 돌로년한 되기도 남도년한 되기도 모라년한 되기도 강반년한 되기도 직발이도 하시. 대치랑가리년은 주어도 하시. 대답. 나랑 give 짜와테 give 짜와테 지랑게 모아모나 간리지는 레베 대답 토고요. 레슨.
And so for that, in the beginning, the motivation is very important. And also in the end, the dedication prayer is very important. So for the motivation, for example, if you practice Tara with the motivation, I want to be born in Dewachen, then you practice Tara. Then in the end, you dedicate, you pray through this virtue, may I be born in Dewachen. Then you can be born in Dewachen through your Tara practice or whichever other deity you practice. For example, if you work, you earn money. Then with that money, once you have the money, you can buy whatever you want. You can buy food, you can buy clothing, you can buy a plane, a car, a house. You can buy whatever you want if you have the money. And so similarly, when you have the root of virtue, you can dedicate it toward any goal. So you can be born in Dewachen through any other practice as well.
So here's another question. So it is stated in the Amitabha Sadhana that the Samaya being and wisdom being is inseparable. So could Rinpoche explain what is Samaya being and what is wisdom being, and how should they be visualized, and why are they visualized as inseparable?
Ba megi druptab nangla tini damchik padan yeshe pa kunzu yerme pares. Tini chitang damchik padan yeshe ba kares sores. Tini sar khanda tapore sarap khanda cheyore khanda komgore. Tini kares ena kunzu yerme pare.
이제 좋아도 야보도 하셔. 담보 담책 봐 세바데 나랑 벤네 진에즈라 가서 산 되고요. 나 진에즈인 상가 산 되기도 하시. 대랑 가서 담책 봐 세게 담책 봐. 이 봐서야 되더니 나게 mik바존에 되니 벤은 납소 대화지신 칸나 산지어 밤인 코드제 산지어 밤이다. 되니 진에즈인 특징도 라서 바산데 Tene nga ki mikpasi ne jingji chi napa pebro chi nga la sinje labro chi sene nga si mikpa tene tsir jingji si ne za se ya de tsir jingji ge hong se ya de tsir pep tene bam se ya de tene jingre se dara yishi pa ta so yishi pa rin do de na yishi pa la tene nga la ma tum ho se de yer mi ba khorani ta nga ge 나랑 지내서 스타트업 데바테다 어빠미 좀 코스음철 대화지 신의 청알을 팸링알을 전 틈송바 대니더니 예미 바찬이 쳐나는 출로바나 차송을 해서 예미 있어야 돼.
So that is a great question. The Samaya, the Samadhi being, the Samadhi being, the Samaya being is myself visualized as Chenrezig. So you think I am Chenrezig. So you as Chenrezig is the Samaya being. The wisdom being is the visualization that we then generate of the Buddha Amitabha from the Western Pure Land of Dewachen. There's Amitabha and the retinue, Chenrezig, Vajrapani, and so forth. So that these main three deities are the wisdom beings. And so we invite them through visualization to come here and grant their blessings. And so that is actually represented by the syllables Za, Hung, Bam, Ho. So Za means to we invite those Buddhas. Then Hung means that they're actually coming. Bam means that these wisdom beings then dissolve into me, and Ho means that now we have become inseparable. And so this being inseparable means that, so I have visualized myself as Chenrezig, the Samaya being, and then the wisdom being, which is Amitabha, and the other two deities. So those three deities coming from Dewachen are the wisdom beings, which then dissolve into me, just like water pouring into water, becoming completely indivisible.
Yemi Jersing, the Yemi Jen, the Ishipatan, Tamsepani, Yemi Jersing, the Namjung Anso Nga, Snatchin as a gum, Ishipala says, Jin the Ning as a Nini Yogodua. Oh, ta Nimi Pachas, ta Jig Chas. Jig the young answer, Dodo Litapata of Maiba. Namjung, touching need. So dom the chick chayu sarias and hand the younger the dear maiba. The generally on the apartment on the ngaris, Dordina Kanya Madripa, Dodo or Genesile and Dodo in a Madripa. A palmit of Dodos in a Madripa. Easy me be yishi is. You mean.
So in the text it says, now we have merged indivisibly. So the wisdom being and the Samaya being have merged indivisibly. And so we might think that, so I am Chenrezig and I am inviting the wisdom being. So we have this dualistic perception of there being me and this other being. And now these two have merged into one and have become one. But even this one does not actually exist as one of solid thing. It's not really the case that there are two solid things which dissolve into each other to become one solid thing. So it's not like that. It's not that here's this entity, Chenrezig, which is me, and then there is the other entity that really exists, that is Amitabha, that's him. So actually, they both do not inherently exist as like solid entities. There is no real solid Chenrezig or Amitabha. So that is realized through the non-dual primordial awareness.
Okay. Next is when we are practicing the Amitabha Sadhana. Is there an easier visualization when we recite Om Ami Dewa Shri, or can we just visualize the 6-syllable Shri?
Teni nganso pa megi trupta nyamlen sena teni di tana mikpa sata po yorba di diskal kha po yosari di tila lella bochi yorbe spena shri chipu komna chogojebe teni amete ba shri sak
Yanjo Jisonda.
Tanga so tanda oba megi nyamlen ana sarta gomlog yorba sarta be rimba den diskal kha po yosari teni nganso lella bo tap demo sarta kona amete ba shri ton teni tap demo startup kona tini Shri Chipo komna chogorebe yana startup demo shemba yorebe
Tadong
demo
Gonda yabu komasa. Sorry.
Ba me di gombe rimba yoreba sar mambo tap ko yoreba tamira startup ko yore tini di skala khapo yore startup yade tini tamira startup mogova pena Shri Chipo kom Ami Deva Shri dona chogorebe tap demo
During the practice time, is it? Because the Lapoyan as the derivative. About me, Yamni, see the couple of Tashipo and the good way, Labribe.
Dorto dinner,
Re tambo nga so te nga kine zela satam dunje nam khala pa mi chong khotam je satab de was teni nga nimpa sab kabla to so sarma nimpa sa de nga chinga pa chung khol go was ngam thang le zu tu ya la so ba do was teni ya chira to so ji thna ya por ka sang ngam thang tu ya ta to so mi pa sa bon de ya la kable yo na teni rang ke Toko shala rikpate ne se mayang wache ne tene nimpasa den rige dos ya se mayang na rige dos.
Yeah. So, so again, the elaborate visualization is that you visualize yourself as Chenrezig, and then in front of you, you visualize Amitabha and the retinue. And then you visualize the mantra garland going back and forth between the two of you. And then light rays emanate from this mantra garland. So if you can visualize that, then you should. But if it's difficult to visualize that, you can only visualize the Shri syllable at the heart and recite the Om Mani Deva Shri mantra if your mind is not distracted.
Another question. If by would like to know, by reciting the aspiration of Sukhavati, does it fulfill the 4 causes to be reborn into Sukhavati?
Teni demun di chikpo to na chikpo nyamen se na teni Dewachen kiwe gi gyoshi tela tsanga yorwe.
Demo Dewachen chive jogya changkan do serve.
Re la.
Re changkan do demo chipo na Dewache jogya seyate on ama dewa sure se chiran rojik to na jogya chang tu yor. Kare sina ko jogya seyate tambo telang aso kare re. Apa mila tepa chi go te apa mi tingo te shin kam tingo do was. Tel demo na te chapsang do was. Nipa tela ngage dikpa mage wata so pa pangor. So gewasa ko ta gewasa andu so ngage tara demo do kabla se maywa che tepa tang tepa apa mila tepa chi ne te chira te gewasa sa no dikpa pha jang no. Then जो तनी मारता ngagete ma nyamni char dirwa nyamni char kabla tani ngaget o ta Dewachen simchi ran yisimchi tambi Dewachen chego samtani monatan changders changda chang inde insa.
So yes, if you just recite the prayer to be born in Dewachen, the 4 causes are complete within that. And actually, if you just recite a single Om Mani Deva Shri mantra, the 4 causes can be complete within that. Because, so the first cause, for instance, is we need to have great devotion to Amitabha and also bring to mind the Pure Land. And so that is included in the prayer of Dewachen. And then also another cause is we need to abandon negative non-virtuous conduct and practice virtue. And that is also contained within the practice of the Dewachen prayer, because when we recite this prayer, our mind is not distracted and focused single-pointedly on our devotion to the Buddha Amitabha. And in this way, we are accumulating virtue and a purifying non-virtue. And then at the end of having recited this prayer, we also pray that all sentient beings be born in Dewachen. So therefore, by just reciting this prayer, of course, the 4 causes are complete.
Om Dewa Shi, Om Dewa Shi, Om Dewa Shi. Page number 31. Gewan de yen ya den da ban min gon reb jun ne ro wa chi chan ma len ba te ya sa lang gu pa yu.
By this virtuous practice, may I quickly realize Buddha Amitabha, and may all sentient beings without exception be established in that state. We'll now go for 30 minutes break. So the next session is actually the rope offering ceremony. So for those Dhamma brothers and sisters who had already made offering online, please proceed to the counter to redeem your stickers. So okay, so you have not registered for the rope offering ceremony, please we encourage you to do so, as actually by offering the Dhamma ropes, you are in essence, it symbolizes the offering protection from the heat and cold to the Sangha. So it's a very meritorious deeds. And in the next life, the person will be liberated from the suffering of the hell, hot and cold realms. By doing this action, the rope dana, one will be free from suffering of hungry ghost realm, and will be reborn in a human form with complete perfect physical shape, attractive, conceivably pleasant and beautiful. So it's really beneficial to make this rope offering. And also just to remind everyone again, if you have not downloaded the e-copy of the lamb offering prayer, please do so. The poster is at the door, so please, the glass door, please download it, as after dinner we'll be doing the lamb offering ceremony. 那就是现在我们休息30分钟呢，那想要就是鼓励所有的朋友，如果您还没有供这个袈裟，就是报名供袈裟的话呢，请就是这是最后的这个时段来供袈裟。然后如果您已经上网报名的话呢，请您到柜台那里领取你的这个贴纸。那然后呢，就是其实供袈裟是能够累积殊胜的功德，其实就是一种在供养僧众，让他们能够就是免离就是那些热啊冷的之类的这种就是这种感受。那还有就是供袈裟的来世呢，你能够就是脱离这个就是下三道恶鬼道，然后来世能够得到珍贵的人生。那然后如果您还没有下载那个就是供灯的法本呢，请您到那个门口那里的这个海报那里下载，因为在晚餐以后呢，我们就会做这个供灯的仪式。And also, we'd like to continue encourage everyone to chant mantra during the breaks and record the mantra counts and submit to the registration counter. 然后希望大家能够继续的念诵这个心咒，然后记录下来到我们的报名柜台那里，就是呈交给我们的义工。So please do come back punctually 10 minutes before the next session. And 所以我希望大家能够在就是4点之前回到您的座位啊。So also later we'll be having this rope offering. So later our usher will give instructions. So please look out for my instruction and the direction of the ushers. 那等会儿就是供袈裟的时候呢，我会指示大家，还有我们的义工也会就是告诉您要怎么做。谢谢大家。
Yeah, that's why she called that day. That's why she called that day, because she was talking to my mom a few days ago, and my mom mentioned that there are some stuff with Novska, so she said she can bring it. That's good. It's not really that she's going to the evening. Sometime before that she doesn't. That's what I'm asking. Rest I already know you already. She doesn't know when, probably after lunch. So in the evening we can go take my laptop to office and pick up those stuff, that wooden thing. Those, I should tell my brother today. The children and huh? My, yeah. That's not she would like to go. but you know that she has super cleaning agenda also on Saturday.
No, that's why I asked, not tell like locally.
No, of course, we have to, we need to decide and have a plan. If she can come, great. If not, doesn't matter. Be lying. I'm a bit scared now. What if your condition goes bad? If you know that's bad there. And then what? Drive to Sveme, then drive to
So I said I don't
Novska.
want to go to Spain.
Where then? That Ključić Brdo that Vesna mentioned with Zoo Park is even gdje on further
No, it's not even
after Velika. But okay, let's say half an hour.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, so same. Then it's same. I don't know. I know you were working all week and then will children come running back to bed with this back pain.
Just ask this.
But I don't want to rely on vets.
Ask this. If the children come, will she be able to have time? Not then,
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to rely on her.
that comes later. If she says yes, she can. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand,
What
but
do you
I
understand?
you agree with that.
Ask, not agree. Ask this. If she can make time next weekend, Sunday. If she cannot, then we.
But why is that crucial? If she can.
Then you don't have to depend on me.
I don't want to depend on anyone. That's the thing. I don't want to depend on you. Doesn't matter. It's not so.
Yeah.
I'm not so desperate that kids have to come.
No, my. Okay.
What I'm saying. If we would have our plan, I don't mind calling
Dear
them.
participants, please rise and put your palms together. 各位佛友，请起立合掌。Sorry.
This West never call us, by the way. How many times kids were in Zagreb for whole weekend? We're never in the picture. I mean, I'm not complaining. That was her time with her grandchildren. So fine.
Just a short announcement. So later when we conduct the ropes offering, please remain at your seat, and our usher will go to your section by section. They will come to you and give you a signal to stand. So those with the stickers, please stand up as our usher give you the signal. Then they will direct you to proceed to the right side of the stage. So please wait for our ushers signal to you. Then you can move to the right side of the stage.
Video number 9. Nam ka lama me palang ko chan chu simba pa de me be ko mus yo bar chu.
Page 9. In the space in front appears the Guru in the form of Amitabha, surrounded by an inconceivable retinue of bodhisattvas.
Namo Konjo Sam Dang Sa Sa Jamne Nan La Ja Sun Chi Ro Kon San Ji Lang Gui Che Chan Chon Jo Du Sim Ji Du Namo Konjo Sam Dang Sa Sa Jamne Nan La Ja Sun Chi Ro Guan San Jie Lang Gui Che Chan Chon Cho De Sem Jie Du.
Namo to the three jewels and the three roots, the places of protection. I go for refuge. In order to establish all beings in Buddhahood, I give rise to the mind set on supreme awakening.
Page number 28. 28. Hong Ran Re Nang Wan Ta Ye Ke Zong Zhen Char Ve Sem La Tu Nang Wan Ta Ye Lo Na Me Ran Re Chu Ke Ngom Tsar Chi.
Hong, inner awareness is the form of Amitabha. Look at the mind that is free of subject-object duality. There is no other Amitabha than that. How wondrous is the truth body of self-knowing awareness.
Om Dewa She, Om Dewa, Om Dewa She. You can recitation Om Dewa She. We lamas praying, raw offering praying. Okay? Chinya Sada Sojin Jitana Design Shiba Meye Singek Dage Malu Deda Tamje La Ludang Aye Tang Sajya Sambo Jigan Lan Togdai Jawa Tamje Yugya Singen Dura Dubai Jawa Kongla Radha Chansal Durje Denan Dunye Sanjen Sanje Seja Wana Yoba Deda Chujen Yena Malya Tamje Gyawa Tage Kanwan Deda Ngaba Mizi Jamson Yang Ge Yang La Jam So Dra Kun Jarwa Kun Ge Yon Den Rab Je Dewa Sheba Tam Je Da Ge Me Do Tam Ban Chin Wa Tam Ban Sin Le Nan Dan Chu Ban Don Chot Man Me Chu Dan Du Be Tam Bai Yawa De Da La Ne Chu Bai Navza Tamba Navtan Checho Sema Puma Ranyambat Gobai Chepa Pabin Chukwai Yawa Denda Layam Chubai Chuba Kana Lami Gachil Deda Yawa Tamje Layam Samboy Jola Debe Bodai Jawa Bonla Chansan Chubai Lushai Shena Tomo Wanje Lena Natan Dije Yike Deva Dage Jiva Chenchebo Teda Tamye Dage Sosoi Choja Gyawa Kundan Sangye Rangan Dan Utan Melo Doa Teda Gunge Isa Kaye Kama Suje Chebe San Chu Bin Ba San Ye Ma Cha Ni Gu Mo De Da Da Ge Tam Je Ko Lo La Na Me Ba Go Va Ku Nya Ge Da Do Kan Se Pe Da So Do Wa Ba Bin Xian De Ka Wa Xin Ge Hoa Yong Da Ge Tan Bo Ra Jiang So Wa Yu Sha Ca Wa Tan Chu Jian Xia Ba Dong Jie Se Ye Ra Ge Qian So Wa Yu Yao Wa Zhong Se Da Ge Zhe Sa Bo Tam Jie Do Bre Jiang Chu Jia Mo Wei Jin Ye Se Da So Jian Jie Dian De San Xie Ba Me Ye Sen Ye Da Ge Ma Le De Da Tam Jie Le Dan Na Ye Tang Wei Sa Jiu Sang Boi Jie Ge Mo Lan Do Dai Jiao Wan Tam Jie Ye Ge Mo San Du Xian Ge Du Ne Le Ra Du Bai Jiao Wa Gong La Ra De Chang Za Du Jie De Na Du Nie San Jie San Jie Se Ge Na Yu Ba Da Chu Ge Yen La Ma Le Tam Jie Jiao Wa Da Ye Kang Wan E Da Ma Ba Me Se Jiang Su Nam Yang Ji Yan Lan Jiang Su Ra Gun Ji Jiao Wa Gun Jie Yong Dian Rab Jie Dewa Recitation Tam Jie Da Ge Me To Tam Ban Chin Wa Tam Ban Sin Ye Nan Dan Su Ban Dun Jo Ma Rin Cho Dan Du Be Tam Bai Yao Wan De Da La Nin Chu Bar Ji Chu Fa Kan Na La Nin Jia Che De Da Yao Wa Tam Ye La Yang Zang Boi Chu Lan Te Be Do Dai Yao Wa Kong Lai Chang San Chu Bai Bu Chai Xie Dan Du Mo Wan Gen Le Dan A Dan Di Jie Yi Ge Jiang De Ma Da Ge Jie Bai Jin Jie De Da Tam Jie Da Ge So So Sha Che Jian Yao Wa Gong Dan San Jie Ran Ya Nam Da Lo Da Me Lo Zhou Wa Ye Su Na Gan La Yang Te Da Zhen Ye Ji Se Da Ye Gan Na Su Jie Jie Dian Du Ma Da Xian Zhu Ba San Ye Ma Cha Gong Bo De Da Da Ge Tam Ji Ho Ru An Na De Ma Gong Wa Nhang Yi Da Du Lang Xie De Da La Zhou Wa Gong La Bin Jin De Wen Si Ga Bai Jin Ge Du Ni Jiu Ba Yang Da Ge Na Mo Ra Jiang Su Wai Chang Cao Wa Dai Shu Jian Jiao Ba Sang Ye Se Ye Rang Hui Qian Su Wai Ye Wa Zhong Se Da Ge Jiu Sa Tam Ye Tu Be Jiang Jiu Se Mo Ai Jin Ye Se Da Su Jin Jie Dian Te San Xie Ba Me Ye Sen Ge Da Ge Ma Le De Da Tam Jie Le Dan Ma Ye Dang Wei So Jiu Sang Boi Jie Ge Mo Lan Do Dai Ya Wa Tam Jie Ye Jie Mo Sun Jin Ge De Nie Le Ra Do Bai Ya Wa Gong La Rabdu Chamsa Durje Denan Durne Sanje Sedye Vana Yoba Dedar Chudye Yena Malaba Tamje Jawa Dage Kamvar Dedar Maba Nise Jamson Yanje Yan La Jamson Dragun Jawa Kunja Yonde Rabju Dewa Shiva Tamje Dage Medon Damba Chinwa Damba Semye Namdan Suba Dojo Marme Jodan Dubu Damba Jawan Deda Lane Chubar Nazar Damba Namdan Jinjot Chima Kurma Ranyamba Goodbye Chima Pabin Chukun Yawan Deda Layan Chubar Chubar Kana Lame Jachewa Deda Yawa Tamje Layam Zamboy Chulan Tibim Topdai Jawa Kunlai Chansa Chubar Duja Shedan Timo Wanget Ledang Adan Tijin Yigit Deba Dake Chubar Jinjibon Eda Tamje Dake Soson Soja Jawan Kundan Sanje Ranja Nandai Bodai Belodai Yawa Tunam Kanglaya Deda Gunye Deson Daye Kanam Shunju Jinde Romanda Sanjuramba Sanje Majane Kumbon Deda Daye Tamje Lai Kolo Lana Neba Kuvar Nyangen Dadu Kanshin Deda Chowa Kunlai Penshin Deves Kawai Shingen Duli Shobaya Dagen Telmo Raja Sowai Chansa Wadan Chujin Shaba Jesu Yeran Kujen Sowai Gewai Junze Dagi Tisab Amje Zobe Chanju Chango Jinya Sada Sobjen Jeden Izan Sheban Neye Senge Dagi Malin Dega Tamje Ledan Aye Tamye Sagye Tamboy Jubya Mulan Todai Jawa Tamye Ye Musum Shenge Dunya Luran Dubai Jawa Kunla Rabdui Chansal Durje Denan Dunya Sanje Sanje Seja Vunai Joban Eda Chuje Yena Male Anje Jawa Tage Kangwan Eda Ngabam Muzi Gyamson Yangi Yanlai Gyamson Jagwen Jawa Kunja Yunde Rabjun Dewa Chiba Tamje Dage Medon Tamba Chinwa Tamba Sinye Namdan Suba Tujo Arme Chudan Kubya Tamba Jawa Dalane Chubai Juba Kana Lame Yache Eda Jawa Tamje Laya Samboy Chula Devi Gopal Tam Jesu Be Shan Chu Sim Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva 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 Shi Om Deva Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Om Deva Shi Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva, Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva, Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva, Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva. Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva Show, Amadeva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, 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 Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva. Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva, Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa, Om Dewa Sho, Om Dewa Sho, Om Dewa Sho, Om Dewa, Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa, Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, Om Dewa Sho, Om Dewa Sho, Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Mami Deoshi, 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 Om Mami Om Mami Deoshi, 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 Deoshi, Om Mami 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 Deoshi, Deoshi, Om Mami Deoshi, 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 Om Mami 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 Deoshi, Deoshi, Om Mami 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 Deoshi, Om 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 Deoshi, Deoshi, Om Deoshi, Om Deoshi, Om Deoshi, Om Deoshi, Om Deoshi, 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 Om Deasho, 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 Om Om Deasho, 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 Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Show, 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 Om Deo Show. I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 I'm a deal I'm a deal show, 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 Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Dewa Sho, 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 Om Dewa Om Deo Sho, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Sho, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Sho, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Sho, 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 Om Deo Om Deo Sho, 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 Om Deo 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 Om Om Deo 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 Om Dewa 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 Om Dero, 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 Om Dero. Om Dero, 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 Om Dero. Om Dero, 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 Om Dero. Om der 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 Rom 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 der Om der Rom 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 der Om der Rom der Rom der Rom der Rom Om der Rom der Rom der Rom der Om der Rom 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 der Om der Rom 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 der Om der Rom 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 der Om 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 der Sha 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 Om der Om der Sha 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 Om der Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Om der Sha 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 Om der Om der Sha 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 Om der Om der Sha 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 Om der Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Om der Sha 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 Om der Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Sha Om der Om der Sha 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 Om der Om Deva Sho 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Show, Om Deva Om Deva Show, 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 Om Deva Om Deva Show.